Hi, this is Big V. It is September 13th, 2018. It's Thursday evening. It's a couple minutes before 5 o'clock. We're going to join the 5:03 p.m. Frank R. Wallace lead call, and this will be broadcasted on my Wednesday morning or Wednesday night program at a later date. This is Big V, by the way. On September 12th, on my Facebook event, I broke records as far as numbers are concerned. In my estimation, it made me very happy. The numbers were very, very high, and it looked really good for me to be part. This is a interaction amongst members, which I'm going to let you guys listen into here in just a few minutes. Hold on just a second here. So we're going to participate with the call right now. They're interacting. This call will get started here momentarily, so be patient. You're going to hear some interaction amongst members. These are real people. It's about 1 minute before 5 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest. It's 1 minute before 8 on the East Coast. So that's the time this call begins. This is Big V once again, and if you're paying attention, welcome to the program. Okay, here we go with the Frank R. Wallace lead call. Thursday night. Any phone numbers or access codes, I will be removing the camera away from the phone from the machine, so you guys, I don't advertise phone numbers or access codes. But I want to let you guys listen in at this time to the interaction of the Neo-Think Society. Here it is. Enjoy.
St. Louis, watch the Cardinal baseball game right now.
Okay, well, watch and listen to the class. Don't listen to the game.
I want to hear a voice from me right now.
And
Hello.
hello, that's for me.
Hi there.
Hello, what's that?
I got 1,000 people talking on the line at once to each other, but not me.
There you go.
What's that?
Don't worry, you're going to get energy tonight.
This is Will on U.S. Mission.
Hey, welcome to the call,
I'm going to
Don Will.
calling you. I will be calling you.
Welcome to the call, guys.
Hey, everybody. Jerry from Ohio.
Ohio, you're in the house. Welcome.
Yes, Jerry's in the house. Hi, everybody. In the house. I want to hear from Mark.
Welcome in the
I
house.
want to hear from Mark now. Dennis from California.
California, you're in the house.
Rhode Island. In the house. I'm from Colbert. Right now. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. There's your answer.
I want to hear New Hampshire. Right here, right now.
You just heard.
I'm from California.
California, you're in the house.
California. Larry is from Florida.
Larry from Florida.
Larry?
Welcome to the call.
Hi, Larry.
Kathy from Indiana.
Hey, welcome. How are you? Kathy, yes, I spoke to your husband today.
Yes, Indiana.
We had a very good conversation down and dirty.
It's in Mitchell, California.
Good evening, Bernard.
What part of California?
Hello, fellow.
It's in Mitchell, California.
Hey,
From California.
Arizona. Washington.
Washington.
Hi, Lorna. Hi.
We'll get it started.
California.
Wow.
Hello, Charles Langdale from Michigan.
Michigan, you're in the house. Welcome.
Yes.
Start in 2 minutes.
Hello, Robert. Michael Assam from New Hampshire.
Well, there's another one. Michael
from
from Montana.
You're in New Hampshire? My name is Steve. I'm from Vermont, and I'm in college. You understand that? Huh?
The guy who wants to call you from, his name is Steve from Vermont.
Steve from Vermont.
There you go.
Yeah, hi, Steve from Vermont.
That's
You got it.
Michael. Good Good
Yeah.
evening. Welcome to the call, guys.
You got it.
We got quite a few hundred people on.
down, New Hampshire. You're
Welcome
gonna
to the
try to
call.
connect her from here.
It's getting large and big. Oh, who's joining us? Welcome to the
I
call.
was- I want Maine in there. Maine, I want you in there.
Yeah,
Maine.
This is Michael LaFountain. I was wondering what that magic word was.
The Q&A session has started. To ask your question, please press *6.
Yeah, my gosh, everybody's got the magic word is on. That's the magic word. You got it. Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Steve Digger Fagan. I am the moderator for this program. We have some new people on. Welcome to the call. You heard a lot of energy. You'll say that's a lot of noise. It's not. It's energy. If you understand neothink and the connection of vibration fields, you'll understand that you just participated in an energy field. And that's very important. Don't look at certain things as noise. When you're in like-mindedness, you want to participate in that, and you were just in it. That's why these last 10, 12 minutes are very important. Let the noise happen, let the yelling happen, let the screaming happen. That's energy, and we need to connect to that. So thank you all. We are muted out, so don't worry, you can hear us, and we do have a very important call tonight, so you'll definitely want to be in there. Number one, welcome, Zons. Every one of you are a Zon. You were born a Zon. You may have lost that focus, but we're bringing it back. And tonight we're going to go deeper into our conscious mentality because we're going to focus on Pax Neotech. I'm going to do a change. I had something else planned, but as you know, this week is 9/11. And as a tribute to that terrible event, Dr. Wallace really was a catalyst for Pax Neotech. I don't know if you all know that this event actually was. So we're going to do some work from Pax Neotech, which is in the Prime Discovery. So we will be addressing it. But before we get started, first, welcome new members. Second, welcome ongoing members. Glad you're with us. Thank you so much. And let me introduce Charlie Moore. Charlie works with us. Everybody knows him. I'm not going to have to reinvent that one. So, Charlie, how are you?
Doing great, Steve. Well, I'm really pumped up with all that.
I'm very excited, too. We got quite a few hundred people on. Excitement. And I think we're going to have a good call tonight because we have a lot of content to talk about. And I'm glad to see it. Just so you know, I don't get on the call now till 10 minutes to the hour. So you can get on earlier and you can chat and talk, but I'll come on at 10 minutes too. All right? So I don't come on 22 anymore. I come on at 10 minutes too. But you guys can come on and chat and talk, and we'll be on. Okay. I've asked Kay Samlin. I don't know if you're into Q&A, Charlie, but I want Kay to come up because I want to talk about the seniors. We have a lot of older people on the call tonight, and I want them to come to the seniors program.
All right, I'm gonna block this part out. This is the seniors program, and I'm not advertising the seniors program. This happens every other Tuesday morning, and I'm not here to advertise that program in particularly. Kay Samlin is talking right now, and she's a Neothink member. She's been in this society for quite some time. So we're going to move on, and I'm going to take you away so you guys can't hear that information. I think it's a good program. It's just a call that I'm not interested in. Doesn't have my interest at best. Sorry for the darkness. So, this program tonight is from Pax Neotech. Now, on my Facebook event on Wednesday, September 12th, I did a special program for 9/11. Looks like I'm going to be doing another program for 9/11 because this is what they're going to talk about on September 13th, 2018. So get ready for that, guys. Facebook will be hearing this. This program will be replayed on Facebook on my program that I do. And I'm on camera. I'm on camera on Facebook like I am right now. and I do a program on Facebook, and I expose the Neothink Society for what it is. They get to hear the frustrations. They get to hear about the 12 Visions party call being cut off. They get to hear about Zon Power. They get to hear the Frank R. Wallace call. They get to hear parts of the Tuesday night School of Genius Rise of Neotech call, how cheap that is, how cheap the Rise of Neotech call is, and very little mentoring on the book. So I just want you guys to hear my opinion about some of the calls. Monday night call, level 3, I have totally given up that call, period. I don't even go to that, so I have no idea what they're teaching or what's going on with the level 3. I threw that call out the window. So this is Big V. So hold on just a second, and I'll take you to the call here in just a minute. They're giving the phone number to the phone call right now. I'm not advertising the call, and I'm actually live streaming the Thursday night calls now as much as I possibly can, as long as it's worthwhile. This is going to be worthwhile because I guess they're going to talk about 9/11. So we're gonna participate with this. I might use this program for a Wednesday night program instead of a Wednesday morning program. How about that? Okay, so I just want to let you guys know that. Hold on just a second. Okay, so we're going to go back to the call. If any other phone numbers or access codes are given, I will pull the camera away from the machine. All right, here we go.
Flexible to change the whole agenda, which we do many times, because it's about you and getting the most out of the call. So plan to be there. And by the way, we call it seniors, but many of our members just show up and they participate, and we love it. So don't worry, if you're not a senior and you want to come to the event, come. We'd love to have you with us. Okay, I think we got it. Anything else? I think we're good on that. Thank you, Kay.
We are, yes. You had mentioned what about speaking up, and
Yes.
when we first started this call, I made a presentation, but I don't make it anymore because people want to speak up,
Yes.
and we want them to. We're more interested in listening to you and having you share things with us than my making a presentation. So please come on the call and join in with us.
Thank you, Kay. I'll be there. I'm going to come, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
hurry. Hey,
You
everybody, did you hear that?
You talked me into it, so I'll be
Okay.
there.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely, and we look forward to everybody being with us. We do enjoy the call, and we get value. So thank you, Kay. It was worth talking about it tonight, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Very good. We're going to move on. Okay. I heard something interesting this morning. I don't go on. I go on certain news stories, just certain things. And one thing that bothered me, because I want to talk about this, is there are other organizations out there that are really dangerous cults. And there's a new one out there. Well, it's not new. It's been around since 2000, and the owner of it is in jail. And I'm not going to go into details of what it is. But I want to bring it up because, as many of you know, I do the escalating program for Mark Hamilton. And I talk to many members who are not even having bought the first book yet. Or many members who have bought a book, but they really don't know how to read it. Or they bought several books. And one of the things that comes up is, I think this is a scam. I think this is all bogus. I want to be very specific with all of you. Now, I might be speaking to the choir, and that's fine. And you understand the value of Neothink. But if any of you are thinking there's a scam here, I want to assure you there is not. Now, why do I say that? I live this neothink material. I wouldn't be on tonight's call with you unless I didn't do the process myself over the last 11 years. I didn't read the literature. I didn't reread the literature. I didn't take the material into effect and use it.
The money that they try to get is a scam.
I just want you to know
people take it and run.
That it
Any
works.
money that is
It's
raised
valuable.
through the society,
now, Mark
the
Hamill,
members take it and
his
run.
writings, we'll put secret society and all in there, but understand that there's a writing technique and what they call forces of nature. But everybody, we are not a secret society. We are not the Skull and Bones. We're not any of those kind of groups that someone like Mark's position would be out to try to abuse you or hurt you or do something deviant. And I think that's one of the things I want to talk about. We're not deviants. No one's here to try to violate somebody, hurt somebody. Now, have it happened? Things have happened. I'm not going to lie. Over the last 11 years, I've had to, as a head of the society for Mark, I've had to deal with some pretty ugly stuff because we have people who come into the society, get through the gates, who shouldn't be here. However, we find them pretty quick and we get rid of them. As many of you know, I've already called the police on one person and the FBI. I don't play games. I will call people out if they try to do anything dangerous to an individual, myself, or to the society. That's how much I love this society, and I do protect it. But we are not deviants. We are not a scam. We are not here to abuse you. We are here to uplift you and grow you individually through the tools of the society. Now, I have a passion, and sometimes I get a little more angry because when I hear people start to challenge me and tell me that they are successful, you know what the one thing that irks me? Somebody who says to me, I already know all this stuff. This stuff's easy. It's just general. Yeah, it's common sense. And then I ask questions. Well, it's just common sense. It's common sense. I said, you're not answering my questions. Tell me how, and this is one of my basic questions. Explain to me how the right brain, left brain works when you connect with numbers. Because that was new to me in the society. I didn't know that before I came here. So I used that as a question. Said it's common sense. So how does that work? And how do you use numbers to connect the two hemispheres? That's common sense. It's common sense. I said, you're not answering my question. Then they start to get angry. And they literally start to yell at me. You see, it's not just common sense. It's a process. It's a mentality shift. And what we're going to be teaching you, and what I'm going to teach you tonight, fellow Zons, yes, you are. You're all Zons. You were born Zons. You are a Zon. I'm a Zon, and I love it. I'm not afraid to call myself a Zon. I don't care if people look at me with two, as if I have the 5 heads, because I understand the power of Zon. I understand the power I have to offer. So I'm not here to worry about that. And people will say, oh, that's too out there, too science fiction. What the hell do I care? That's your issue, not mine. I'm a neo-thinker, man, and this is how I look at things. So if you don't like it, I'm not apologizing for that. And that's what we have to look at. But understand, as I go into PAX Neotech tonight, which is going to be a little deeper, I'm giving you concepts that you have to start to use. I'll tell you where they are, and I'll tell you how to look at them. But unless you put the hard work or the energy into it, you're never going to get it. And stop saying it's basic, it's common sense. It's not. This is not common sense. The 7 brain muscles you've never heard of before. I can guarantee you never heard about them before Neothink. Power concentration, power responsibility, power control, power interaction. I didn't know a damn thing about those things. So no one's going to tell me you've been living that for 25, 30 years. Because if you were living that, you would be in the best relationship in the world. You'd be living a heck of a great lifestyle. You'd have more money than you need. And you'd be working with others. And when I talk to people, let me tell you something. I talk to people and say, oh, I've done this, this, and this, and this, and I don't know. Good. I said, how's your life? How's your this? Pours up church mouth. Not going anywhere. Well, something's not working. Where's the disconnect? So, apart from these cults, and this particular cult that we're talking about today, oh, you come in and this is what I want to be very careful about, because we use this ourselves. We want to attract people by the way we are, the way we live, and we want them to be like us. And in this cult program, they were discussing how we act in such a way that they want to have what we have. Does that sound familiar? You see, I don't have an issue with it, but unfortunately people use it in the wrong way. You have to use it in the right way. We have to use it in the right way. So I'm going to be making some changes in my presentations to help you get content and get conversation. So I'm going to ask you again, turn off your emails, stop watching television. The ball game will be there when you get in an hour. You can check and see the score later. Stop having deterrence. Finish dinner now, and let's go to work. And let's learn neotech. And let's start putting it into place. And let's discuss the writings of Dr. Frank R. Wallace, who, by the way, is the originator of neothink, who spent 33-plus years writing and developing. And we don't have him here, but we have his Highness. And his Highness is in the room with you and me right now. I hope you realize that. Dr. Wallace, we're glad to have you with us this evening. Fellow Zahn, we're glad to have you with us this evening. Dr. Wallace, I always make a chair. I put a chair out for him because he's here with us. Call me nutty? I could care less, because I know he's here with us, and he's guiding us through this class tonight. So before I get started, Charlie, any thoughts before we move on?
No, I always feel them too.
Good.
You know, I just like his way of writing and his way of just being right up in your face with the honesty. And honesty is the whole key here. You know, like you talked to that guy today who said he knows this, he knows that, it's all common sense, but yet he's poor and broke and everything else. There's a case of someone who's not being honest with themselves. And when you start living honestly, especially with yourself, that's when you make the biggest strides here. When you say to yourself, no, I haven't been doing what I should be doing, or looking at some mysticisms that you want to get rid of, you got to dig down deep inside it and get honest. And you'll feel better. It's a big difference when you start to be honest with yourself. And now you know what? Yeah, I was kind of silly there. I wasn't teachable at that moment. Or I've been closed-minded. I got to keep my mind open. That's when you start making great strides here, just by being honest with yourself. So go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Last week, I ended with this one area, and I want to just say it and then prepare for our intro. I was talking about you become Zahn. And remember, you already are a Zahn. So you're not becoming a Zahn. You are a Zahn. You just have been overshadowed by the mysticisms of the AC world. I want you to remember this statement by Dr. Wallace. You realize that essentially all children under 6 years of age are Zahns. Because we are. We're still in that innocence. We're innocent, we're uncorrupted, and we're honest. And please make a note of those three. They're very important statements, because we're going to refer back to them in Pax Neotech. So let's write it down together. I'm going to be very close. I'm going to take it nice and slow. We need to know that you and I, as Zahns, so put that in your notes, are innocent. And by the way, innocent has to do with, in a way, as a child, they're not really sure of how to use their consciousness yet. Children don't know how to really use that yet. You have to be developing it by, you make choices. So you're still innocent because you really don't have connection to your inner consciousness. You're uncorrupted, and you're honest. Those are three important subjects that we're going to be looking at. Then he says the following. You notice how all such children struggle to obtain objective knowledge. Objective knowledge. We want to know what's real. We want to know what's right. We don't want illusions. We don't want delusional issues. So we are objective-oriented children as our Zahn. So as a Zahn, we're into objective knowledge. And we change the subjective as we go forward. We are not into illusions. No illusions. Okay? We strive for children as being Zahns. What do we strive for? Value creation. Number one. And to help destroy, we really do not get anything with anything socially destructive. We stay away from it. It makes us uncomfortable. Social destruction is not in our pathway. Okay? So as Zons, as baby Zons, we're innocent, uncorrupted, and we're honest. We are looking for objective knowledge. We do not look for illusions, and we will not associate with destructive individuals in our society. Because you know why? Because we're value creators, not value destroyers. Think of that. We have not reached the world of humanoids. And we're still in that honesty because we haven't really reached our innocence. Well, we still are in innocence, but we haven't reached our consciousness. Okay. Make notes of those items. I just talked about it. And we're going to connect them into what Neotech is about, going into Pax Neotech. Okay? So let's look at Pax Neotech, and let's see exactly what Dr. Wallace says. Pax Neotech has to do with pure love, and Neotech is obviously honesty, integrated honesty to know reality. Pax with love and integrated honesty removes all blinders. So think of the horse, think of the blinders. You can't go right or left, you just go forward, but you're not looking at what's real. He calls them horse blinders or blinkers. And they're put on by the humanoids to all of us humans. With our Neotech knowledge, the blinders come off. And what do we gain? Wide scope vision, which helps us actually escape that no survival. He calls it racetrack because of the horses. And that closed circle life. You know, we had the whole world for ourselves as young children. We had it all. We had the whole concept of wide scope accountability. And please make a note in big letters, wide scope accountability. Integrated honesty, known reality, wide scope accountability. Those should all be in one sentence. Okay? You cannot use pure Neothink and Neotech unless you're using all three terms. Integrated honesty, reality, and wide scope accountability. And you've got to be in understanding and directly using it. You can't be in specialized honesty. It's an integrated honesty. And you can't be in truth. You've got to be in honesty. See, these are the terms you want to make sure you get. You can't keep saying the word truth. You can't keep saying certain terms that are mystical. You've got to be using the Neothink. When wide scope accountability is one of the biggest ones that we have to use because we are in a specialized mentality because of the mystical world around us. The mystical world has taken us from this wide scope to this horse blinkers area. And we're thinking one-dimensionally, in one dimension. Why do you think these pieces of garbage are taking us over? Why do you think this mysticism world is allowing us to really just function? And we're allowing them to do it. You know, when somebody says something to me, as I said today, this is just common sense. Is this common sense? You can say to me in pure heart that moving from specialized thinking, one-dimensional, to multidimensional, understanding what truth versus honesty is, living in an honest mentality, knowing what is real and what is an illusion, and taking it to a whole wide scope, open-ended division is common sense? Excuse me? Say to me what I just said to you. I dare you. Because you don't get it. And I'm not saying all of you don't get it. I'm trying to say, people who say to me, and I get a lot of this, these writings are common sense. I knew all this. You didn't know what I just said. Because I didn't know it 11, 12 years ago. I was living in one dimension. I had the horse blinders on. I was one focus. Neotech, Dr. Wallace, the writings have shown me the light. of my Zon, my child Zon. Okay? Fellow Zons, and I call you Zons, and from now on I will call you Zons, you have the power. You have the knowledge. You have the information. Take your head out of the wrong parts of your body and use them. And stop saying this nonsense. Oh, this is common sense. That's not common sense. That's knowledge and information that Dr. Wallace created. And I can guarantee you were not using that in high school. Okay? This is important. I want you to allow yourself to say, I've been screwing up. I haven't been doing it right. I need to learn. I think people are afraid to say they failed. People are afraid to say, I didn't know that. Everybody, guess what? The losers are those who say, I didn't know it. I knew it. I did. I knew all this, and I know all this stuff. The winners will say, I'm still learning. That's a winner because they're teachable. They want to learn. Dr. Wallace is saying to you and me, let me show you the way. Let me show you how to move your life back to your Zon. We're a journey forward going to a journey back. You see, our Zon is inside of us screaming and yelling to get out. Okay? It's almost like our Zon is that in the fire screaming, let me out, let me out, let me out, and trying to break the glass. Because I'm here to help you. I can help you. Let me help you. But you keep them buried in. You keep the glass closed. And you let them burn inside of you instead of burn brightly. And I say inside of you, you don't let it really burn the light that it should. So, take what I've given you so far and study that. We'll go back to understanding your Zon. Go back to understanding the blinkers. Go back to understanding wide scope accountability. Go back to understanding reality, integrated knowledge, and do it in your life. Integrated knowledge, you're taking specialization, you're going to multiples. When you look outside and we talk about it, you see a whole world outside, not just one mountain or one stream. That's your mind. That's your way of doing it. You see, neothink is not about memorizing. We don't memorize. We think. And we think very strongly. When you discovered Neotech, here's what you discover, and goes right back to your Zon again. Please make a note of this. You discover honesty. Okay, honesty versus trust or truth. You discover rationality, knowledge, freedom, that nourish. Now cross the line through those. Business, science, technology, and art. Now, that's your key. And by the way, maybe you don't want to use the word secrets. The more I'm thinking of it, I don't know if I want to call these words secrets anymore. I want to call them the values of living. How's that? Because you know why? Whenever I heard this morning on this cult, everything was secrets, secrets, unleash the secrets, we're going to teach you the secrets. And I started getting really weirded out. So I'm going to tell you, why don't we uncover the nuggets? How's that? Let's make a term, we're going to uncover the nuggets of the universe. Maybe it's time to upgrade the society. And Mark has given us the opportunity to do it. We don't have to wait for his approval. I'm thinking we upgrade the nuggets of the universe. We are literally identifying and unleashing the nuggets obtained in the universe. And I'm making a note of that. We identify them, and we're identifying honesty, rationality, knowledge, putting it together with business, science, technology, and art. And what does that really mean? Right? And throwing in our freedom as an add-on. Because we're going to be free once we develop. So we're identifying and unleashing the nuggets obtained in the universe. They're in the ground. That's the uranium. Instead of the secrets. Maybe the secrets are too culty. I don't know. Just a thought. Just throwing it out there. We may want to look at that. Maybe the secrets make it too weird. Now, to people who say Zon's weird, but I think Zon is pretty cool. I like Zon. Because it's one-dimensional in that sense. It's there, Zon, Zoo. It's very strong. It's very, it's like that. I'm energy. I'm high field. And we're there. So, what have we unearthed? What have we unearthed tonight? What nuggets have come out? We know that as Zons, when we were children, under 5 or 6, we were innocent, we were uncorrupted, and we were honest people. Plus, we wanted to know knowledge. We wanted information. I was a huge kid in spelling, doing math numbers, etc., when I was 4 and 5. And every time I could, my mother would give me a bunch of just math terms, and I would just fill them out. And every one I got right, I was so excited. When I got wrong, I was like, I gotta figure that out. But I was just doing it for exercise. I wasn't even in school yet. In those days, we didn't have nursery schools like we have today. So, it was like really, in a way, homeschooling. So, you had the thirst for knowledge, the thirst for not information, the thirst for finding what's right. To unleash, and let's dig into those nuggets. But it's done in an objective manner, not subjective. Objective is what is. What is the factor? And that's what we have to look at. Everybody, what is? What is the answer? What is the information? You can't live in blind faith. You can't live that as if you are being told what to do. The days of being told are over. The days of you finding the answer through your questions, you're being inquisitive, through your Zon power are in place. Tonight, you change directions. Tonight, you make the commitment, fellow Zon. Tonight, you look for your knowledge. And it's called what? Objective knowledge. What is? What is specific? What is the answer directly? And you find it out. I don't care how many people tell you things. You get on, in today's world you can do it. You get on the internet, you Google it, and you look for it. You take the time to study it. Okay? The days are over. And by the way, every neo-thinker, I recommend you have computers. You're going to need them. Everybody, if you're not in the computer age today, as a neo-thinker, you're behind the 8 ball. There's another piece of information. Get yourselves a computer. Get yourselves into 2018. It's a new world. And I don't care if you're 98 years old. You should be involved. I'm telling you how important it's going to be. You'll want to have a computer, especially in the Neo-Think Society. Be ready for something. You have to be aware of what is important, and you have to be with the times. Everybody, fellow Neo-Thinkers, you can't be lazy. You can't just let it happen. You got to take control. You got to take control. All right, I'm going to take a quick breather. Charlie, a lot to talk about. We're still just working on one paragraph. I haven't gone any further. And we're in PAX Neotech. Comments, input, feel free to talk.
Wow. Great job.
Thank you.
I think when we have these blinders on, it always reminded me, too, like the horse goes around in a circle, right? With the blinders on, so, But as a kid, how many of us had a pet hamster? And we had him in a cage, and in that cage you had the circle where the hamster would just run. He's not going anywhere, but he's just running and running and running and getting nowhere. How many times in your life have you felt like that hamster? Just kept running and running and running, but you were getting nowhere. That's how the AC world is designed, for us to run around like a hamster, run around like a horse and just go around in a circle going nowhere. That's what we have to stop. And by learning this honesty, by learning and being objective, we can throw away that circle and stop running in that circle. We can throw away the blinders. You will be surprised at the things that you'll see. Your mind will start to open up, and you'll start looking honestly inside yourself. When you start to see that there's so much to be... See, we have a lot of abundance in this world, but nobody says it. You know, it's always scarcity. It's always, you know, we have blockages, and we have this, and we don't have enough power, and we don't have enough this. And it's all there for us. If we were all doing our essences, there's plenty of food for everybody. There's plenty of this. There's plenty of everything. You can't use... Everybody could ask for all their abundance from the universe, and there still be leftover abundance. But if you don't believe in that, if you're going to believe all the naysayers out there, then there's no point of even being here. But we all got tired of listening to those people. Don't you get tired of being lied to every time you put on the TV? Every newscaster is lying to you because it's all scripted. Every politician, you know, he's lying just when his mouth is moving. He's lying. They don't do anything for us, these leaders of ours, but we just continue to follow, and we continue to follow. When are you going to stop? When are you going to look at your life and escape? Escape this no survival. Escape just surviving. Let's start to live and get excited about living. It's a wonderful thing. When we look at ourselves, we start to like what we see. And I can remember years of looking in that mirror and not liking what I saw. Saying, you know, I'm a loser. You know, I'm not making enough money. You know, I lost a job. I lost a wife. You know, I'm losing friends. You know, rock bottom. And then for a couple of years, I'd be way up on top, and then a couple of years, I'd be way on the bottom again. It was like a roller coaster. But when I hit those bottoms, every time I hit that bottom, each one got worse. And that's when the blinders came on. That's when I was running around in a circle. I had no confidence. I had tons of blind faith. And that's why I was in the room.
Doesn't sound much of a 9/11 call at all.
I wasn't
So
being objective.
it is what it is, but it's a good call here tonight on Thursday night.
When you can't go
Back to the call.
When you're in that spot where you think, this is like the lowest I've ever felt in my life, it's a comfort to know that you have hit rock bottom. So you know at that point, the only way that you can go is up. You can't get any worse. The last time, it was about 2 years before I got my first letter from Mark. And I was rock bottom. I couldn't forget it. And and after about 2 years, I was coming out just enough to survive. And that's why I got the letter from Mark. But I did find comfort in knowing I was at the bottom, because I knew I couldn't make it any worse. Not a great place to be, believe me. But it's just that when you're there, and I started to look at myself again, because once in a while when you start looking at yourself, that's when you always start to rise, when you really start being honest with yourself. And then, you know, and as I was coming out of it, I could start to see why I hit that bottom and what got me there. And I tell you, it's easy to go downhill. The easiest thing in the world to do is to slide, you know? It's easy to be lazy. And a lot of times we take the easy way out. But the only thing that stops us from moving forward and enjoying this life and understanding me, I think, is that we get lazy. We all have. I mean, today I was fortunate today. I didn't stop all day. I have not stopped since 9 o'clock this morning, except to eat. Because I just had appointments all day, I had coaching calls, I had some other calls to make for the workshop. We had some other calls that me and Steve had to be on. And I didn't stop all day. I didn't have a chance to be lazy today. And I like that. Because I can be lazy sometimes, like the rest of us can. But today I felt fulfilled because I was doing what I wanted to do, and I was making a difference in my life and in some other people's lives. I had no blinders on today. It's a great way to go through a day. You know, I was getting tired during the day, but it didn't stop me because I was still exhilarated by what I was doing. And then to top all this off, and when we hit all these things, our bodies actually start to feel better. Maybe I didn't age today. You know, I always think there's some days where we don't age. I think the days where we age is those days where we are when the burden of life hits us, when we're not getting anywhere, where we feel like we're just surviving. That's when you start to age, and you worry, and you don't sleep, and you don't rest. That's when the body takes a beating. But then on top of all that, when you get through all those things, and then we could find the exciting romance in our lives again. And either have that with our partner that we have now, or that future partner. That's going to be the perfect match for you. And I don't think we look at that all that much here. You know, I've never had luck with women, and I've had bad relationships. Yeah, but you weren't being you. When you start finding your essence and you start finding out who you are, now you're being true to yourself. When that happens, now you're more comfortable with yourself. And when you meet that person that you think might be the one, and if she's about in the same space where you are, about believing in herself and believing in her or him, whatever it is, aha. Now you got a shot at romance because now you're being you. You're not being some phony person. Or you're not being quiet, or you're not being afraid to answer questions because you don't know what the answers are, because you're not being yourself. All these things add up. There's like a little piece here and a little piece there. You put them together, and all of a sudden you're a genius. You're feeling wonderful. You feel like you have character again. You have endless prosperity. Everything starts to work again just because you took off the blinders and said, I had enough. So become teachable. Believe that you can hit whatever you want. And believe that you are a Zon. We're not just throwing the word out there. You are. End of discussion. But if you don't want to believe it, then you're never going to get there or anywhere else. But you got to start somewhere. So if you're not believing it right now, ask yourself, why don't I believe it? Aha. Now we have to dig in again. And when you start asking those questions to yourself, and you start to come up with answers, that's the biggest hurdle that you have that you have overcome. Now you're dealing with yourself, and you're dealing with your emotions and how you feel. So now you're going to start answering that question. Why? So why don't I think I'm a Zon? And start writing down the reasons why. And let that come out of you. What a great way to say, all right, well, you know what? I don't think 5 of those reasons even fit me. But yet, inside you, that's how you felt. And now you see them on paper. You know what? No, I'm not that lazy. You know, I'm not that. Well, maybe. Now you start to figure out which is the biggest reason. And then you go from there. And you do another question. And then you do the same thing. It's taking inventory objectively. That's what Frank R. Wallace was always trying to tell us. And at that, Steve, I'll stop.
Thank you, Charlie, and thank you for your honesty. That's one of the things I like about the way the call's working. Charlie opens up, he tells it to you like it is, and that's what we do. When we present, we give you real-life situations. We don't just keep it in the books. We bring it to life, and Charlie just explained some examples of his own life. Okay, I want you to write the following down and work on this. And I'll do it slowly, and then I want to give you all the recording for tonight's call. This is a very important call. Okay, here we go. I am living an honest, rational, and here's a word I didn't talk about earlier, zestful, Z-E-S-T-F-U-L, conscious life. I am living an honest, rational, zestful, A lot of zest, a lot of spice and vinegar, pushing it forward. Conscious life. I thrive for new knowledge. I thrive for new knowledge. And I offer my essence to the world through my value creation. And I offer my essence to the world through my value creation. Or creations, could be plural. I want you to look at that and understand that. As a Zon, as an honest, rational, zestful, living, conscious being, notice I did not put in there mystical, anti-mystical. Just leave that alone right now. Just stay with this. I am offering that to the world. Dr. Wallace discusses this in PAX Neotech, and I'll tell you where it is. This is a very important segment for you to understand. And take these words, and by the way, the words are triggers. Zestful. I am living. You're not existing. You're not coasting. You're living a life full of, spice and vinegar. You got it. You got that excitement. You're thriving for more knowledge. You keep looking for more knowledge. You don't just say, I'm old enough, I don't need to know anything. I don't care if you're 135. You still need to learn. So anybody who's in their 90s, you still got 35, 40 years of learning to go. And you should thank me for it, because if you stop learning, you're going to might as well go right in the, as my grandmother used to call it, the wooden overcoat. Right in the coffin. How's that? Okay. I want to give you the recording for tonight, so you have it.